Hello everyone, welcome to another one of our CX conversations. I'm delighted to be joined today by Jim from Interflora. Jim, do you want to just introduce yourself and your role at Interflora for the guys watching?
Absolutely, Tim. So my name's Jim, head of e-commerce at Interflora, so the floral gifting company. We work with 1,000 independent florists in the country delivering floral gifts. And me and the team are responsible for the sales performance of the Interflora website, merchandising, design and development, usability, and merchandising, which I think I mentioned already. So yeah, the full breadth of e-commerce activities.
And you guys are one of the original kind of global direct selling brands, but a few years ago, the UK business in particular, you found yourselves needing to explore replatforming your core e-commerce platform.
Yeah.
What's been the best outcome you've seen since you've been through that replatforming process?
I'd say the biggest positive has probably been that the speed at which we can continually develop the website. So previously we had quite a, I think as you're aware, quite an archaic platform, monolith platform, really difficult to develop, difficult to find coders, very much waterfall in terms of our development approach. And since we replatformed, we're now into fortnightly sprints. People across the business can submit ideas to the product owner. They're obviously evaluated and prioritised, and from there we develop, and people can see obviously changes happening frequently. So yeah, that's the biggest benefit, that ongoing development and improvement.
It's great to hear, and I guess it's quite vindicating as well for the wider team to see that all of that effort has paid off into that.
Absolutely, yeah. There was a level of frustration before across individuals, across the product owner, who was finding himself saying no to requests, and that's very much changed since we've replatformed, and people can see that changes coming to fruition.
And thinking back to that time when you were replatforming, what do you think the hardest thing to manage was through that replatform process?
So talking, was it 3 or 4 years ago now? Well, I guess two things. First of all, it was the midst of the craziness of us all working from home, and that was literally during the replatforming program. So that change of working environment, change of collaborating with others, that was really tough and something that we had to overcome. And then keeping the business going, so that BAU, everyone's really keen, understandably, to get involved with a replatforming program. They want to do new designs, they want to do research, they want to get stuck into the development. We want to move as quickly as possible with that, but we've also got a business to run, and customers that obviously are coming to our existing platform to purchase that still need that experience that we're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, I remember actually that the project we did with you at that time was the first time we'd ever delivered a project without actually meeting the team face to face.
Yes.
Yeah, we did everything from conception right through to
and I guess the timing, if it had happened a couple of years before when the technology wasn't quite there, and Teams and all the other kind of collaborative software that we use, it kind of we're just about managed. But yeah, 2 years earlier, I don't think it'd have been doable.
No, it would have been unheard of, I think.
Yeah.
And so, like, rolling the clock forward, what do you think's been the impact or the best impact on your team since you replatformed?
I think there's definitely increased collaboration. The old website literally required coding skills to create content on the website. We've now got brand teams, marketing teams able to create content and publish content onto the website. So it's kind of democratized the site and the experience within the teams, and that coupled with, as I said before, just that positive from people being able to see changes happening frequently and influencing those changes. So those two things, I'd say.
Okay. And what were your key considerations at Interflora when you were selecting your new e-commerce platform?
So we wanted to get away from, obviously, I think our site in terms of the code base was, as I say, archaic, and we struggled to find developers. So we absolutely needed to get away with that. We needed to be able to recruit developers. We needed a platform that was quick to develop. We chose to go down the modular route. So we chose to go with commercetools as a platform engine and went for that modular best of breed approach. And it future-proofed us. So at the minute we don't have an app, we're not in voice, but if we do want to do those things in future, then we've got a platform that allows for that. So there was certainly that. There was obviously other considerations, other commercial considerations, but that ability to develop on a modern tech stack was definitely one of the primary reasons.
And in a similar vein, what were the qualities you were looking for in your agency or SI partner at the time to help you, deliver that project?
Yeah, we needed the knowledge that we didn't have at the time internally. We've since absolutely upskilled our internal teams in terms of knowledge and experience. But at the time, we'd been developing a site that wasn't as modern as the one that we're on now. So we needed that external knowledge and experience to help us select the best combination of tools and to select the best tech stack, because we didn't have that. And obviously we worked with an agency such as Candy Space to do so.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a trickier question now. So, I think everyone is very aware that economically some of the trading conditions at the moment can be quite adverse for many brands.
Yeah.
So you're in that situation where perhaps sales are a little bit down, but your operating costs are rising. As head of ecom, what can you actually do to manage that tension and to kind of get through those more tougher trading periods?
Yeah, I guess hypothetically, looking at that scenario, I think naturally you'd look at see what marketing activities are proving most beneficial. You'd absolutely want to continue to have brand awareness within the market, even when times are tough. But I think it's also a real opportunity to test and learn, whether that be tactically, products, promotions, whatever it may be. So we've even before the current platform, we were really invested into conversion rate optimization, and on the new platform that's continued. So I'd say at all times, but specifically when times aren't great, that ability to fail fast, to find winning variants, to code them quickly into the code base, which wasn't something we could do historically. We kind of ran with existing winning tests for a long time. We're now able to move those tests quickly into the code base. So I'd definitely say that's what I would recommend if you were in that situation.
And you find a platform like commercetools is kind of key to being able to respond to those more adverse trading conditions.
It's certainly allowed us to move quickly, and with all kind of SaaS-based solutions that we have now, that's certainly been an enabler.
Okay. So obviously, any kind of replatform activity, whether it's your main platform or kind of like some of the more satellite pieces of technology that go into that overall landscape, requires a lot of investment from time and resources from within the business, and it can be quite disruptive. So how do you go about demonstrating the value of doing a replatforming of any part of your estate to the wider leadership team?
Yeah, we had a real robust business case. It was something that we'd wanted to do for some time, so we spent a lot of time putting the business case together. It was around efficiency, it was about site performance, it was about traffic driving, conversion increasing. So we had real clear metrics that we were looking to measure against. And obviously there's softer metrics such as your brand perception, having a modern tech stack that is kind of visibly modern and appealing to customers obviously helps from a brand perception point of view. But we had some real key KPIs that we measured against, and we did. I guess it was almost an MVP approach in that we launched the site quickly within about 9 months, something like that. And from there, as I say, we've continued to develop, but straight away we were measuring what the conversion impact, we were measuring what the impact to site speed was, to the best of our ability. Obviously, nothing's ever flat in terms of trends, and things change over time. And unless you're doing a pure A/B test, it is quite difficult. But we did everything we could to robustly measure the impacts of the new platform to demonstrate that we delivered what we said we were going to.
It's only been about 3 years, hasn't it, since we went through that whole process.
Yeah.
I think if we were starting today, I think a lot of our conversations and planning and everything would contain the word AI.
Yes.
I don't think we'd be able to get away from it, even though I don't think we even mentioned it once.
No, probably
even
not.
just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask the question, what role do you think AI is going to play at Interflora over the next kind of few years?
If I think about my role and how it's going to impact my role, I think it'll be twofold. I think, first of all, kind of operationally, some of the things that we all do that take time and are onerous and stop us from doing the things that really add value. I think a lot of those things AI will assist with and will increasingly use that. Obviously, it needs to be a safe AI environment to with which to operate in, and when we have that, we'll absolutely do so. And then second to that, I think from a user experience, so from the front end, I think there's definitely opportunity for how customer journeys can be personalised through AI, how we can really deliver what the customer is looking for rather than just a linear one-size-fits-all approach to customer experience. So I think, twofold. Operationally, I think there's benefits so that everyone, including myself, can kind of add more value, and then secondly, from a customer experience point of view as well.
Okay. Last question for me is more of a playful one. You've experienced quite a lot of change at Interflora. You've been in different roles. You've grown there over a number of years. If you had the opportunity to talk to yourself before you started at Interflora, would you give yourself any specific kind of advice?
I'm not sure. I didn't have any e-commerce experience at all prior to working at Interflora. So Interflora has absolutely given me the opportunity to kind of progress. And I've got kind of 15 plus years experience within the business. So I don't think that wasn't even on my kind of horizon. It wasn't something I'd even considered when I first started. So I'm just glad that kind of I knuckled down and the business gave me the opportunities that it has done. And 15 years on, 16 years on, here talking to you.
Well, I'm glad you are, and thanks ever so much for coming in and chatting to us today. All that's really insightful, and I'm sure everyone's going to get a lot of value out of hearing your point of view on some of these things.
Thanks, Tim.